Hey guys, welcome to the club. So I'm just gonna show people how to play Sealed because it just occurred to me some of you might not know what Sealed is or how to play it. I'm gonna do it on Arena, but almost everything I say applies to real life Sealed. So firstly, what is Sealed? Well, in Magic there is a format called Limited. Limited includes Draft and Sealed. And basically, what limited means is you're going to open some amount of booster packs, and you're either going to pick cards from the booster packs in the case of draft, or you're going to just open 6 packs. Draft is 3 packs, sealed is 6. So in sealed, you open 6 boosters and you just try and build the best 40 card deck out of what you open, and it's a lot of fun. Pre-release events are default sealed format, so everyone gets to try out the new cards. They're a lot of fun. Um, Usually everything you open in your box at pre-release you can play, although they've changed that in the last set. There was certain promo cards you couldn't play, which I don't think is a great idea, but that's neither here nor there. So the 40 card deck usually has 17 lands. You can take basics from either the arena vaults, or you can take them at your local game store. They'll normally have a box full of basic lands. You can use as many basic lands as you want. As I say, usually 17 is the best amount of basic lands. Sometimes if you're a really aggro deck you want 16 or 15 lands, but that's pretty rare. Sometimes if you're a super control deck you might want 18 lands, but generally we're looking for 17 lands, and we're going to use 23 of the cards that we open. So I've just opened a sealed pool on Arena. Normally it will show you 6 of your rares. In this set you can get more than 1 rare per pack. So the first thing that unfortunately you won't see that bit because I've skipped past it accidentally, but the first thing that I like to do is go to filters, filter by rare and mythic rare, and then we can see the rare cards, and rares aren't always good obviously, but rares tend to be good and mythics tend to be really good. So as you can see here, we've got a Pelucranos, which is a great card, an Invasion of Chandalar, which is a great card, and we've got a Karuga. Karuga can be green or blue, so immediately I'm thinking I'm quite likely to play green here because 3 of my rares are green. I think I have another rare. Okay, I have Omnath. He's 5 color and he's not really that great in this format, so I mean I could try and play him. I've already looked at this pool and I don't have any 3 or more color cards. Anyway, looking at the rares is a good sort of starting point to think, like, if I play a Pelucranos I'm quite likely to win the game. If I play a Breach the Multiverse I'm quite likely to win the game, so already thinking green and black look good. I have 2 red rares, not including Omnath, so I could be thinking, okay, maybe I want to be green, black and red, and then I can play all 5 of these rares, which seems pretty good to me. Anyway, that's just a starting point. If we go back and take off the filters, now if I was doing this in paper, what I would do is I sort all of my cards into each different color, and then artifacts, and then multicolor, and once you've finished doing that you'll immediately see, like, it looks like a bar chart. So if I've got tons of white cards and not many red cards, for example, I'm probably not going to be playing red in my deck, and I'm probably going to be playing white in my deck. That's not always the case, but that's another thing to bear in mind. Sometimes you just don't get many blue cards and you can't play blue, and it's a bit unfortunate. Maybe you've got like 1 really good blue card and the rest are not good. But one method that I would suggest on Arena is to just kind of if you really wanted to, you could just put every card into a deck and then look at it like that, but I just like to put all the playable cards, or the cards that I want to play, into the deck, and then you can sort of visualize it and see what you're working with. Another point in limited, which is important to bear in mind, is that you probably want at least 15 creatures in your deck. There are again exceptions to that rule, but decks with less than 15 creatures tend to struggle against the creature decks. So even like control decks probably want at least 12 creatures to be able to keep up with the aggro decks. Aggro is just inherently better in limited formats because the games are shorter, the decks have less cards, the decks are less refined, and a lot of the aggro cards tend to be at common. Okay, so I'm just looking here and I'm noticing that the black is really good in this pool. The blue's not great, to be honest. This is a good card. Yeah, there's nothing in... I mean, if you're new to Magic, you might not be able to sort of work this out, but once you get better at the game and you get used to all the cards, you can sort of immediately look at them and know this is really good, this isn't that good. Red looks quite good. I don't like these cards, I like this card. So yeah, it's a bit long-winded, but I'm just clicking all these cards that I think are playable into the deck. Now we get onto our multicolored cards. So don't worry about Karuga if you don't know what it does. Basically you can play it as a companion, but you have to have all your cards in your deck cost 3 or more. So that's something to think about later. But as you can see, I've got all the playable cards into the deck. These are the ones that I'm not particularly keen to play. I guess Dreadship's playable. Combat tricks are fine, I'm not that into them myself, and I'm not that into a 1/1 Vigilance Rabbit. And Omnath, he cares about cards that have 3 or more colours to them. And if we just quickly scan the deck, the most colours in any of my cards are 2. So that kind of makes Omnath just a 4-mana 4/4. So, as I said, blue's not looking very strong, so we don't have any rares in blue, and it's mostly commons, and they're not very exciting commons really. None of them are like reasons to be in blue. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the blue cards here. Karuga can be blue or green, so that's fine, he can stay in. And these cards are blue. Okay, so as you can see up here, we've got 65 cards, so we're way over, and that's not including the lands. The lands haven't gone in yet, so we've got some work to do, I'll say that. Going back to white, so to me this is the only card that really makes me want to play white. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the white. As I say, you don't have to do it this way, this is just the way that many people find to be the easiest. So now I'm left with only red, black and green cards, and that kind of correlates with what I was talking about when we were looking at our rares. If we were to play red, black and green, we would be able to play 5 out of our 7 rares. So that's just something to bear in mind. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut some of these expensive cards. That one's quite good. Because another thing to bear in mind in limited, cards that cost 2 and 3 and 1 mana are great because you always get to play them. If you get killed on turn 5 or something, you're not going to be able to cast any of these cards up here. So generally you want most of your cards to cost 4 or less, and maybe like 2 or 3 more expensive cards. That obviously again has exceptions. If you're in a ramp deck, you can play the bigger cards. I'm going to cut Timoret because he's cost 2 black. I'm going to cut the Informant. This card's not amazing. This card's not amazing. I don't like the Beat Stick, and I don't really like the Goblin either. Okay. So, spoiler alert, I actually already built this as a deck, and I made it a green-black deck, and it was actually really good, and it had Karuga as the companion, but just for the sake of doing something different, I think for this exercise I'm just going to cut the black cards, and it breaks my heart doing this because we've got some really good ones. But now you can see that we're at least down to 29 cards. That includes 2 lands, so wait, 28, 20. If we cut 4 cards from this, then we can actually play this deck. And going back to Karuga, if you don't know what he does, he can be your companion if all the cards in your deck cost 3 or more. So just for the sake of simplicity, if I cut these 3 cards, I can actually play Karuga in my deck as a companion. And let's just go back up here and see if we missed anything. We can filter by colour, so let's filter by red and green. So I'm actually kind of tempted to play the dragon now. And this is actually 24 cards here, including a land. So if we were to play 16 lands, we could actually play this deck just as it is. Okay, I don't really like the Dread Ship. Hanger Scrounger isn't great either. Does the Dread Ship incubate? Yeah, okay, so actually I will play the Dread Ship over the Hanger Scrounger. Anyway, this part is all completely up to your preference. I'm quite experienced playing limited, so it comes easily to me. We can look in here actually. This will show us all the stats of our deck, so it's important. It says how many creatures you have. As I say, you kind of want 15 minimum, 17 is plenty. I think 15 is fine in general, 15 or 16, so that's great. It also tells you all your creature types over here. It tells you how many instants or sorceries you have. So this screen is actually really useful for sort of looking at your deck. As you can see, the average mana cost is quite high, but that's to be expected in a Karuga deck. In a normal deck, you probably want to aim for like somewhere between 2 and 3 to be your average mana cost. And this little bar chart here sort of shows we don't have any 1-drops or 2-drops because we're playing Karuga. I don't recommend this normally, but let's have some fun with it. And finally, when you're ready, you can click lands here and you can say suggest lands, and Arena will calculate the ideal number of lands of each colour to put into your deck. Sometimes it's not exactly right, sometimes you want to tweak it a little bit, but to me it looks like we've got a roughly even split of green and red cards. So that is how to build a sealed deck. If you've got any comments or questions, let me know. I'm going to play a couple of games with it now to see how it goes, but if you just wanted to see how to play Sealed, how to play the deck, feel free to turn off the video now. Otherwise, enjoy the games. Okay, I'm going to mulligan this because we got no green. Wow, that's like the same hand. Isn't that literally the same hand? I'm going to rewind the video, but... Okay, mulligan again. Okay, and thankfully we can keep this. I'm going to get rid of our things that cost 5 mana. Okay, I'm just going to put Karuga in my hand. I'm going to save this because it can flip our Invasion of Zendikar. Unfortunately, I don't think we can stop them flipping that next turn. Yeah, that's annoying. So that will kill their creature, but it will also flip their battle. Play Karuga here, which seems good. Get 2 cards. So this is pretty sweet. I can deal 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker in battle. I can then make a hasty boy. Yeah, make a hasty boy attack. They haven't Elish known. We are probably dead. As I say, I built this deck before as a green-black deck, and it was really solid. I think this green-red version is actually a lot worse, but I wanted to try something different. I played the green-black deck a lot. Okay, they're not attacking. That's good news. Okay, I can give something double strike. Which will be Karuga. Battle. That's a great draw. So I'll attack the battle with this. Attack face with everything else, and we will pump this. Maybe I should have just attacked face with everything. Yeah, I think I should have. Okay, if they're bouncing that one, I'm fine with that. That's got haste. That one is ridiculous. But I almost have lethal on the next turn. If they flip this, they actually have lethal. No, we can block. Okay. No, we're dead. Okay. Anyway, that's how you build a sealed deck. I'm not going to play any more games because I think this deck is actually pretty bad, but that's not the point of the video. The point is just to show you how to play sealed and tell you what's going on with it. It's a great format. Hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you like the video.